Hello, my name is Seyed from EDD Academy, and today I will be doing the SAT official test number 10, math section with no calculator walkthrough. A circle in the plane has center 5, 7 and radius 2. Which of the following is an equation for the circle? This is an easy plug and chug one where we know the equation for a circle already. So x minus h squared plus y minus e squared, okay, equal to r squared, where h comma e is the center, and r is the, as you probably guessed, the radius. The center is 5, 7 in this case. H is equal to 5, e is equal to 7, and r is equal to 2 because the radius is 2. And we end up with x minus 5 squared plus y minus 7 squared is equal to 2 squared is equal to 4. Which of these matches up? A, the first choice. So remember that it's not going to be these, even though the center is positive 5, comma, positive 7. It's actually going to be the opposite sign, minus 5 and minus 7, right? That's because of this equation here. You got to remember, this is a very important equation. In the figure above, triangle ABC is similar to triangle DEF. What is the value of cosine E? So when it says similar to, it just means that it's scaled up by a constant. Let's call the constant that will multiply the side lengths of this triangle k. So this side length would be 12k, this would be 5k, and this would be 13k. Alright, let's just highlight this angle right here because that's what we're working with. And multiply it all, every side by a factor of k, which is just a constant. Now, we'll see that we don't even need to know what k is to calculate this cosine, right? So what is cosine of E, right? E has the same angle as B, alright? So cosine of B should be equal to cosine of E. Now, we'll actually show why this is true. Cosine of V, we can see why this is true pretty easily. It's 12 over 13 because cosine is equal to adjacent over the hypotenuse, right? SOHCAHTOA, classic SOHCAHTOA. So cosine of E would then be 12k over 13k. The k's cancel out, which is very nice for us, giving us 12 over 13. And we'll see that these two are actually the same. They're indeed the same. So this just shows that cosines of angles will always be the same regardless of what size triangle they're in, right? So we can just mark this down, 12 over 13. In an actual test, you should just recognize that B and E are the same angle since the triangles are only similar. The angles haven't been changed at all. So you can just use this triangle and just say 12 over 13. But I just decided to quote-unquote prove it for you guys. In the xy plane, the graph of the function f of x is equal to x squared plus 5x plus 4 has two x-intercepts. What is the distance between the x-intercepts? This is longer compared to the rest, but let's just quickly write this down. F of x is equal to x squared plus 5x plus 4. So let's just factor this. It'll be a lot easier to do so. So there are no coefficients at the front, so it's just x plus something. And since all the terms are positive, we know that there is no negative as well. Alright, so 2 and 2 don't work because 2 and 2 add up to form 4, not 5. So the only other option is 4 and 1. Since 4 and 1 add up to form 5 and multiply together to form 4. So it's equal to f of x. Alright. What is the x-intercept? When we set this to 0, we will see that the x-intercepts are minus 1, minus 4. So what is the distance between these x-intercepts? Well, we can just do minus 4 minus 1. Take the absolute value of that, and that'll be the distance. Let's call the distance d real quick. That's equal to minus 4 plus 1, absolute value of that, equal to absolute value of negative 3, which is equal to 3. So the answer is C, 3. Alright, so you just factor these, find the intercepts, and then find the difference between them using the absolute value function. Okay, so for this problem, we have the square root of 4x is equal to x minus 3. So what are all the values of x that satisfy the given equation? Alright, so we have two options, 1 and 9. Well, what I would do is actually plug in each of these values, okay? So we have 1, we see that square root of 4 is equal to 1 minus 2, 1 minus 3, my apologies, which is equal to minus 2. No, this is actually wrong, right? Well, mathematically speaking, I guess you could say this isn't wrong, right? However, for the SAT, negative numbers are not accepted as a response, right? So we know that this, number 1, cannot be an answer, alright? Now let's see for 9, just double check. 4 times 9 is 36. First, see, 9 minus 3, 6, right? So square root of 36 is equal to 6, which is true. This is valid 6. There we go. So 6 is equal to 6. So we know that 2 is the answer. Alright, so keep in mind, negative answers are not accepted in the SAT as a result of a square root, right? So square root of 4 is only 2, not negative 2. So in the system of equations above, for which of the values of a does the system have no solution, right? Okay, so let's just do this the long way first, but a system of equations has no solution if they are parallel, alright? So let's just write this out as equal to 6 plus 3x. This is the top one when you move some stuff over. I like working with linear equations in this form, alright? So 2y is equal to 4 minus ax, divide that. Y is equal to 2 minus a over 2x, alright? So we need to find a value for, we can make set minus a over 2 equal to 3. Because like I said, parallel lines have no solution because they don't ever intersect. So the only thing that's different between parallel lines is that they have the same slope, but they have different y-intercepts. So these already have different y-intercepts, that's good. So we need to solve this. We get 6 is equal to minus a is equal to minus 6, which is actually a. So for the value of minus 6, it has no solution. A manufacturer shipped units of a certain product to two locations. The equation above shows the total shipping cost T in dollars for shipping C units to the closer location and shipping F units to the farther location. If the total shipping cost was $47,000, that's a lot of money, and 3,000 units were shipped to the farthest location, how many units were shipped to the closer location? Alright, okay. Let's see. The total shipping cost was 47K. Alright, so let's write that out. Alright, 5C. Alright, and 5C, and 3,000 units were shipped to the farther location. Alright, okay. So let's first write down the closer location. 5C. So 3,000 units were shipped to the farther location. That would be plus 12 times 3,000. Okay. Alright, so we can simplify this and make this into 36K. Alright. And now we just subtract it from both sides, which gives us 11,000 is equal to 5C. Then we divide 11,000 by 5. Give us C. Alright. Okay. Oh, and this is like, you gotta show all your works. You gotta show all this, right? And 11 times 1K divided by 5 is equal to 11 times 200 is equal to 2,200 if I'm not mistaken. So, alright. So the final answer is that C equal to 2,200, or you can write this out that 2,200 units were shipped to the Closer location. Apologies for my bad handwriting. Using a drawing pad isn't super easy. So, if A and B are the solutions to the equation above, what is the value of A minus B? Okay, so absolute value equation. There are two ways to solve this. So first, let's solve it without the absolute values. That'll give us one value. So 2x plus 1 is equal to 5. Alright, we solve that. Subtract 1 from each side. 4. 2x divided by 2. X is equal to 2. Alright, so that's one value. Easy. The next value is just going to be the negative of the inside, right? Since the absolute value of a negative is just the same as, like, as if you never took a negative. So it'd be negative 2x minus 1 is equal to 5. Add 1, 6 is equal to negative 2x is equal to negative 3. Okay. So we just do, and A and B, we can do it in whatever order you want. That's a nice thing, right? So 2 minus, right, minus 3 is equal to absolute value of 2 plus 3. Oh shoot, that's not right. We'll use an eraser. There we go. Okay. Which would then grant us 5. So the answer to this is 5. Juan purchased an antique that had a value of $200 at the time of purchase. 200. All right. Each year, the value of the antique is estimated to increase 10%. Okay. Over its value in the previous year. The estimated value of the antique 2 years, another important value, after purchase can be represented by the expression 200A. There you go. What is the value of A? Okay, so we have to think about this in terms of a exponential model. It increases 10%, right? So to increase 10% the value of something, right, you'd multiply by 1.10. So 1.10 is equal to 10% increase, okay? 10% increase, okay? So 10% every year, this would be 1.10 to the power of t, the number of years, times the initial value, which is actually 200. Alright, so times that would be equal to the value. So let's just call that V, okay? So we know that the estimated value of the antique in dollars 2 years after the purchase, right? So at t is equal to 2, right, is then equal to 200A. We have to find out what A is, right? So we set up an equation. 200A is equal to 200 times 1.102 to the power of how many years? 2. Okay, so we have that. We can cancel out the 200s by dividing. We can get A is equal to 1.10 squared, which, if I calculate that really quick, okay, and that's 1.21. Okay, right. So this would be your answer. Let's write an A there. That's the answer to this question. Okay, so 2x plus 3y is equal to 1,200. Okay, let's write that out. 2x plus 3y is equal to 1,200. And 3x plus 2y is equal to 1,300. Based on the system of equations above, what is the value of 5x plus 5y? So we don't need to actually solve this for x and y to get this, right? We can simply add the two equations together, which we're allowed to do, which will give us, if we add these together, we'll have 2 plus 3, x plus 3 plus 2, y is equal to, adding these two together will give us 2,500. We'll finish this off. 5x plus 5y is equal to 2,500. So this would be our answer. So 2,500. And we, of course, show all of our work. If u plus t is equal to 5, u plus t is equal to 5, and u minus t is equal to 2, what is the value of u minus t times u squared minus t squared? Okay, so key thing here is to factor this, okay? So we have u minus t times u squared minus t squared. Okay, so let's factor this out. This is already factored. We don't need to do anything with that. However, this over here, you'll notice that this is a difference of squares. The formula for that is a minus b squared is equal to a plus b times a minus b. This is the difference of squares. So this would then be u minus t, that stays the same, multiplied by u plus t, multiplied by u minus t. And if you really want, you can group these together, which give us u minus t squared, there we go, times u plus t. And now we can treat these entire expressions as variables where we can just plug in the value. So given that we know u minus t is 2 and u plus t is 5, we then have 2 squared times 5 is equal to 4 times 5 is equal to 20. So what we did was we factored out this part using difference of squares. Very important formula to remember, just in case you don't have it memorized. You definitely should. Into this u minus t times u plus t times u minus t. And then we could have just evaluated like this by plugging in the values, or like we could have just grouped it up like that. So u minus t squared times u plus t, which yielded 2 squared times 5 is equal to 4 times 5 is equal to 20.